Yo, what is up, guys? It's me, Eve, again here, as always, playing Tokyo Ghoul, Break the Chains, and today we have gonna be speaking about a character that I finally acquired, and probably a lot of people just happens to acquire as well because she was an pay-to-win character, but due to the great event that is going on right now, the Valentine's Day event, we finally have been able to actually get her the Akira Father's Will, the new character that is available for everyone to get by using the fragments, obviously the universal fragments that they give you for the characters. Uh, so we're gonna talk today about her. We're gonna review her. If is she good or bad? If she needed, if she not needed. Uh, uh, should you even go for her, or maybe you should go for the red armor? We're gonna talk about all of that in today's video, as well as there's gonna be another two reviews coming in. I don't want to spoil anything for you right now, but it's a very cool characters as well. So stay tuned for that one. But I think out of all of those characters, obviously the Akira is the best one in that sense, and I'm gonna tell you why right now. So let's go for through her kit. First of all, obviously her attacks deal disruption damage to all enemies equal to 285% of the attack. Disruption makes the target's active skill ineffective for one turn. So she is an AoE character. She does decent damage that scales off an attack. A disruption makes the target active skill ineffective for one turn. So that's very good. That's insanely good. That's why most of people, obviously, as well as her passive skills are great as well. But this is one of the reasons why she's so good, as well as this ineffective thingy here makes the enemies look a little bit less scary when it comes to their attacks, to be honest. Passive skills, let's get into them because, like, I don't know if you need like too much explanation here. This is pretty simple and pretty effective at that. I think that's a great start for her kit, obviously. The first passive skill without any stars, taking damage within first turn after battle starts, increase all allied characters' defensive rates, related stats by 10% for the turn. So this is again, this is why she's called the Ayato counter, so that you will not get one shotted on the first, on your like first round when you just get into like RTA battle or something like that. This is why she's the counter, because she gives you this defense in the beginning, and that's very good because obviously Ayato deals insane amount of damage, and she is the counter for that. Obviously, if you're using some other characters as well with her that give you a related defensive related stats boost in the beginning of the battle, that could work even more better. Like you can basically almost nullify the damage that Ayato does. To some extent, obviously, not like zero. Ayato can never do the zero damage because he's just such a broken character. But this is a very cool character to have, especially like on the first turns. And usually, a game lasts like at max 3 to 4 turns. So this gives a big advantage on the first turns, and it's insanely strong. So this one already gives you such a big advantage that this character is insanely strong as well. Okay, the first star, when enemy's turn starts, each enemy character removes one buff, and the character with the highest attack removes all buffs. Again, another counter for the attacker type characters like Ayato, who is basically everything about the attack. And when he doesn't have any buffs, that's even better for you, especially when Ayato is used with other characters that put buffs on him as well as debuffs on the enemies. For example, the Uta buffs passively buffs your like stats as well as the attack related. There's like not Ito, Itori. There's like all kind of support like Clown. They buff attack as all of that stuff. Uh, all of them gets neglected by Akira and her attack removal buffs. For the highest attack, obviously, usually it's gonna be the Ayato because of his insane amount of attack. But so this again, great one, great start here. When applying weak, all enemies attack related stats are reduced by 8% for 2 turns. Again, very good. If you get someone weak, everyone gets attack related stats downgraded. That's again very good. Third one, being attacked by enemies afflicted by debuffs triggers retaliation, dealing impale damage equal to 140 of attack. Impale, this damage ignores the target's defense. So that's pure 140% of attack. So usually when you have just like this stuff, like the trigger passives or something like that, uh, they don't ignore the defense. Only on summon characters, they have this stuff like this, like when they ignore the defense. And you usually, depending on the defensive stats of the characters that you are trying to do the damage to, this number here, 100, for example, 140% of attack, it will lower because, for example, if the enemies has like 30% buff of defense, it's gonna be like 110 or 100 or less, maybe even something like that. But here it just ignores that, so it's purely always gonna be 140% of attack, depending on how much attack you have, obviously, on her. So that's very good as well. Maybe not like very crazy thing or anything like that, but a very strong one for sure. As well as like ignoring defense is very good as well. Gaining power burst reduces all enemies attack by 10% for 1 turn. Again, the same thing like in weak, but a little bit more percentage, but less turns. So maybe not so good as it was here. 2 turns is obviously much more efficient to reduce the attacks, but still, again, as well, not a bad one there. Uh, so I think overall, this character is definitely a very strong. Even though I put her in S tier, I could see arguably her being an SS tier, maybe even higher. Arguably again, uh, I think she's somewhere like between an SS tier and S tier, just because, uh, like even though this is good, you need a very strong composition with her. It's a very uh like money consuming to actually get her to like this 3 stars, at least even maybe 4 stars if you can. Then getting other CCG characters, if you are if you want to use her, you probably want to as well use like 2 other Arimas with her, just so you could get the most value out of her being a CCG obviously character, as well as like Red Arima being buffing characters that are CCG as well buffing himself, so that like you always want to probably use her more in the CCG team. So that's why I think in that's in that sense, she's not that good because she requires you so much to just use her. Other than that, if you're like a pay to win player, you have everything in this game. She's a very strong and solid character that I would easily put to SS tier, maybe even higher, if that's the case, because she can work very efficiently and she can nullify almost a lot of damage here, as it shows, as well as the doing some decent amount of damage, as well as work really decently with especially someone like Red Arma again. They in pair they can work really strongly together, as well as if you even pair it with a yellow Arma, it can be a deadly combo. Those three insanely strong, and you can just leave someone forced for the slot, someone like Ayumu maybe, who's also kind of can be a supportive type character because she has passive buffs for the CCG teams. So she could work there as well with her. And this is just generally, by looking at this character, it seems like this is a very solid character and a very good addition for your CCG team. So in terms of should you go for her or should you not? This is here like a little bit tricky because you need to think about what you have and what you don't. So if you actually have the red Arima, you definitely want to get yourself Akira. As well as, mm, again, you should consider like this Arima scales off like on first star, great star here. Third star on Arima is again very strong. Even like getting all of the 4 stars would be very efficient for the this Arima, extremely broken character. So again, but because if you're free to play, you definitely want to at least get one copy of her because you can later like try to go with the pinnacle star up crystals on her, maybe try to get her to at least 1 star. It's already gonna be very good if you are able to go and get her to 3 stars. It's gonna be efficient as well. But obviously, you should probably prior the Arima, Red Arima, because he's such a great character and much more is going to be much more viable for you in any composition basically. But obviously, CCG team is going to be much stronger. So I would suggest if you have Arima, doesn't matter on what star. If you at least have the red Arima and you want to play a CCG team, I would suggest you go for the Akira from those fragments, so that you can add her to the team, and it's gonna be already very strong. And then maybe you should consider going for the Arima like stars until we get another chance to actually get Akira's fragments for her. Other than this event, hopefully, maybe she's even gonna be added to banners one day. The at least had at least limited banners, so we can maybe passively get a few of her copies, and that would be great. So again, in terms of priority, I would suggest going for Arima, just because he's purely a better character overall. But obviously, he's a very CCG type character. So as you can see, everything is about CCG. So if you're not looking for a CCG character, then Akira, in terms of diversity, she's better. To be honest, she's much better in terms of diversity than Arima. This Arima is very heavily based off other CCG characters in his team, but he's very good in that one. Uh, and she's more of a diverse character in that sense, to be honest. So if you're looking for a diverse character that you want to play, then Akira is gonna be your play. If you're looking for a solid CCG team and you already have Arima, again, you're going for her. If you don't have Arima at all and you're looking forward to trying to build a CCG team with this Arima as well, and maybe someone like Ayumu or Chu and something like this, like trying other CCG teams, then you definitely want to go for these red Arima more than for this Akira, to be honest. But again, I think in terms of diversity, Akira better. In terms of just pure CCG build, Arima is so much stronger and so much more useful in that teams. But this is again your choice. You make you, and hopefully you're gonna be happy with your choices. But other than this, thanks a lot for watching this video. Please, obviously, leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment. We'll definitely want to see what you think about Akira, how you feel about her, where you would put her uh, in your like tier list. Hope maybe something like this. And other than that, have a nice day, and I'll see you next one.